So I think most of you must have understood what happened in the last class and what has been explained and what has been all covered. So any questions, any doubts? So Arun is saying with array, yeah. So yeah, vector. Yeah, tell me. So should I repeat vector once more?
Hello?
Yeah, yeah, Manorman, please tell
Yeah,
me.
just now joined. How are you? Yeah, just now I joined.
Yeah, good morning, Manorma.
I just want to know, good morning. Started?
So yeah, we have just started. So yeah,
Okay, fine.
okay.
Thanks.
So I was just asking if anyone had any questions with the last class, so we can discuss that before we proceed with the today's class.
Okay.
So yeah, so Arun, you said it right that ideally it should contain only one type of vector, or it should the class should be same. For example, if I'm having a character, then it should contain only character, or if it is a numeric, then it should be only numeric, or logical, then it should be only logical. So it basically makes a consistency among all the variables. But what happens is that R provides a flexibility. You can put character with numeric, but I think I've mentioned in the R script also and in the class as well that when there are two or more variables in the same vector, then there is a priority provided to each another vector. So let me check. Yeah. So here it is. So there is a priority provided. So in case I have, for example, in this H vector, I have a logical vector, or logical elements or numeric elements, and at the same time character element. So the priority would be like character would be given first priority, then numeric, then logical. So for example, if I run it like this, so H has been stored. Now what is the class of H? This is character. Just so any more questions you have? Okay. Up to us, how do you want to make our web be like? Yeah, it's totally up to us. So just for clarification, so as I said earlier, R has its own priority basis. So in case, so like for example in SAS, if a numeric comes in place of character, then it gives a null value or a missing value. It doesn't accept it at all. But R is quite flexible in that regard. In R, you can actually pass a character in the numeric, but it will actually change the type. Or for example, in case when there is a conversion, so we will come to conversion of variables later. But yeah, for now you can understand that this is how the priority has been set up in R. And it is always a good practice that to make it consistent. ठीक है चलो, then let's start. So few of the basic things that I think I covered in the first class, but most of the participant have missed because no one was there on Saturday. So let me repeat few of the mathematical functions that are there in R. So these are just basic ones. So there could be n numbers of such functions. Let us start with the basic ones and let us have a clarity over this. So Biblesh, have you have just joined. So if you're not speaking, can you please go on mute? Fine. ठीक है. चलो let's start. So So what will be the output? I think this is the most covered thing in the last class. So can you help me with this? 1 semicolon 10, what would be the output? You can unmute yourself and speak. Otherwise, you can give the reply in the chat section. Okay, Naresh. Okay. Arun. Okay. You're good. Tarun is also okay. Yeah. So this will be a sequence of 1 to 10. Okay. So let me store it in a variable. So let's say W is equal to a sequence of 1 to 10. And now I want to make some of the mathematical functions or apply some of the mathematical functions on the same. Let me check. So mean comes out to be 5.5. So as you all know, the summation of it would be uh, some 55, and 55 divided by 5 will be 5.5. So this is mean. First, let me show you this. So plot is most basic function in R. So anyway, if you want to plot a vector or a two-dimensional array, so plot is the most basic thing that can be used. So in plot, one thing to understand that you don't need any y variable. If you have a x variable only, so it will simply plot it just with the index. So here in W, I don't have a y variable. I just have a one variable, that is W. So let me see what happens if I plot just this. So as you can see, it just increases as the time progresses. So if I zoom it more, so this is how it is. Just a linear variation or linearly increasing. So what if I don't want in this way? So by default, so yeah, one thing, when I don't have two axes, for example, here I have only one variable. I cannot plot it with another variable. So what will happen is the y variable will be my W. So the value of y will be plotted along the y-axis, and x-axis will show the number of elements, the index of that element. For example, if I plot it again, you can see this. So this is my index. So the first index is 1. So first value is actually 1. Second value is 2. Third value is 3. So likewise. So I think as because in this case index and the numbers are both are same, so it makes a bit of confusion. So let me avoid that and do it in this way. Let q, let me understand that 5, it varies from 5 to 15. Okay. And now let me plot this q. This okay. Yeah. So here it is. So index is, it starts from 1, 2, then goes up till 10. Yeah, 11, sorry. So there are 11 elements and the value is plotted here. So value is along y-axis and this is the index of that value. Okay, then let's start with some more. So this is actually mean. Similarly, median. So let me take median of y. So it will be similar also. So median would be the middle value, as you know. So in this case, what would be the answer? What would be the middle value for the sequence of 1 to 10? Naresh says 5.5.
It's between 5 and 6
Yeah,
divided by 2 something.
yeah, correct. 5.5. So yeah, median will be middle value. So in case the size the length of my vector is not a odd number. So if it is not an odd number, then I cannot get a middle value. In that case, what happens is so the previous to the middle value and the next to the previous value both are averaged. So in this case, if I take the sequence from 1 to 10, it is average of 5 and 6, which is 5.5. So median will be same 5.5. So let's say now for log. So log ahead, I don't have any base. So it will be a natural log. So natural log of let's say 10, sorry, let's W. So this is how it is. It has started from 0 because log of 1 is 0, and it has gone till log. So natural log of 10 that we all know is 2.302. Now let's say uh, this is a bit difficult to see how the variation is. So let me plot this. And also one thing here I missed out. So here I'm getting only points. What if I want to make a linear line? Then my command will be type equal to in quotes L. So here I will get a linear line, or the line which traces the points. Okay. So let me do it with here. So first I'm plotting with just points. So here I'm just getting the points. So not a good or a very good representation of log function. So type L. So this gives me a bit more clearer picture that how the function varies or how is the variation. So at times you want to make it just a scatter plot or only with the points, and at times a linear graph will give you a better picture. So Sujata has just arrived. Good morning, Sujata. And if you're not speaking, please go on mute. Thank you. Similarly, we have an exponential function. So exponential, as you know, it would be e to the power of the entire series. So base value of exponential is 2.718. So it starts with e to the power 1 and goes till 10. Let's say the plotting of this would be a bit interesting because the scale is too high. It's varying from 2 to actually 2200. So let us do that. Here also I'm taking it linear. So see, the variation is quite drastic. So the scale was quite low initially and it went on very high, took a very steep high. There are also some functions in plotting, for example, x limit and y limit. So if I want to make a limit of x, so for example, it has to start from 0 and it has to end at let's say 5. I want to trim. I don't want entire series to be shown. I only want until this thing. So let's do that. So it has trimmed my limits. It has started from 0 and it has gone till 5. correct? So let me increase it and make it to 15. So yeah, now it has changed to from 0 to 15. Yeah, so C refers to a combination. So as I said, when a variable or a assignment has to accept two or more value, it cannot take it at the same time. So C function has to be provided. So C is basically a combination. So that has been taught in the last class that when I have to make a combination of all of them, I have to use C. So similarly, I have while limit also. So if I want to change my while limit, and let's say if I want to start with 10 and continue till 1000, see what happens. So it has also trimmed the graph. So limit has been defined from 0 to 1000, and every value above this has been omitted out from the graph. So these are the basic things of the plotting and using this mathematical, because I mainly chose it because it becomes quite easy to actually illustrate and explain how it works. And these are just some of the basic properties of plot. We will get into this with more details. So I wanted to cover this in the last class, but I think it would have been a bit more for the first class, so I avoided it. So let's start with the continuity. So I hope this is clear till now. Basic plottings.
Yes, Ankit.
Okay, ठीक ठीक है. Now some of the basic convention in R. So I hope you must have got this material by now. You must have got access to it. It has been uploaded in the share path. So in the first class we covered till data frames, I think, and we will start with the variable thing. So some of the good practices while naming an R variable. So first of all, if you want to make a good practice, then it should always start with a variable, a character variable. It should always start. Always make it a habit by making by starting with a character, and there should not be any gap. So suppose if my variable contains a gap, or it is something like number of children's or number of people, then it should be tab or underscore delimited or underscore uh, divided by underscore. So that is a good practice. So let's see what are the some norms that are there for our naming conventions. So numeric is allowed, but it should not start with numeric. Here, this var underscore name, this is a valid name. Only problem comes when there is a percentage sign, which is not accepted. So you should avoid that, and mainly because this percentage sign has some other meaning in some other conventions, because some of the commands in R are used using percentage sign. So that is why we should omit percentage sign whenever required, and that is not accepted as a valid naming. Also, it should not start with a number. Secondly, we can start with dot, and this is also a good practice. For example, if I have a variable which is quite long, so I can name it like this. So number of variable. So this is actually a good practice. At the same time, if suppose I have two or three models of the same thing, but I have redefined the model. So the model can be, the naming convention could be like this: model dot step 1 or model dot step 2. So this actually makes it the naming quite easier, or actually helps you understand better that which is the model. Or suppose if I want to make, say it like this, model dot step AIC. So AIC is one of the features that is there in some of the regression techniques. So we will come to that, or you can say it like this. So it becomes quite easier to understand and see that how has been, so what are the factors there in the model, or after which step I've got that model. So these are the good practices in R. ठीक है. यहाँ पे और एक चीज that this dot is allowed, you know, at the beginning, so this is okay, and also it could be like this. So both of this, so dot var underscore name and variable dot name, these both are allowed. So yeah, so this is an invalid one. So it starts with dot, but the dot is followed by a numeric, so that is incorrect. So what happens is it actually becomes like point 0.2. Can see, yeah. So it becomes something like point 0.2. So for this reason it is not recommended to use dot followed by a numeric number and starts with a underscore, which is even not valid. So these are the few naming convention. I would also always ask you or recommend you to use either underscore or use dot. In most of the cases, even I use dot in between the variables. So as a variable name, if it is a kind of a sentence or a phrase, that variable, then I use it dot in between the words. ठीक है. Then any questions? ठीक है. ठीक है. चलो, then let's see some of the few basic functional operators. So as an operator, like any other language, we have some arithmetic operators, then some relational operators, and what else are there? Any suggestions from you? Logical, correct. Conditional, yeah. Conditional, yeah, it is there. We will come to that also. And yeah, so mainly these are the main things, like you said, logical and conditional. So let's do that. Let's see how it works. So a few of the things that we have already covered in the last class, so it would be just a continuation, and those of you who have attended the last class, this would be a bit easier for you. So okay, one question from last class. Uh, Suppose I have two vectors and both are of unequal length and I have to add them. So what would happen if I add them? Arun says it would any ठीक है तरुण. Okay. Okay, so you have tried well. So yeah, the smaller vector will repeat. So as it, or if it is not the of the same length, then first of all it issues a error message. So let me, so here both of them are of 3. I make it 4 and then add them. So I get a warning that both are of not equal length, and at the same time the shorter one should be a or the longer one should be a multiple of smaller one. If that is the case, then there won't be any issue. So that's good that you all remember what has been taught in the last class. So चलो ऐसे करते हैं. So this is simple addition. So I have assigned few values to v, few values to t. So it would be just addition and one to one, first to first, second to second, third to third. ठीक है. Similarly यहाँ पे अब subtract करते देखते हैं. So output from you all, please type the output. That was for addition. For subtraction, for this step, Naresh. Yeah. So Vimal is saying why it is coming in decimal values, because here I have already assigned it decimal value. So it is 5.5. Yeah. Okay. So you all have understood. Chalo. Yeah. So it is minus 6, 2.5, 2. And what would be for multiplication? Yes, 16. ठीक है. Naresh says it's good. ठीक है. Okay. Tarun also has provided me the answer. ठीक है. Most of you have answered it. Good. So yeah, same thing. So you're understanding it well now. For division, what would be the answer? Okay. Okay. Right. So all of you have gotten right. Okay. So this is actually a remainder function. So what happens is, like we have done while dividing. So there is a quotient, there is a remainder. So this actually calculates the remainder if it is divided. So in this case, what would be the answer? Okay. Uh, so few of all have answered it that it would be 0, but here actually 8 is dividing 2, not 2 is dividing 8, so that should be kept in mind. So actually v is divided by t, so it would be the other way around. So yeah, those who have answered that 2 would be the remainder is correct. So Manorma, if you're not speaking, can you please go on mute? And so any idea what this function is doing? So anyone, so I have provided the output, what it is doing. Okay, ठीक है चलो. So it is actually providing me the quotient. That is after, so like in the normal division, we have some quotient, we have a divider, then we have a remainder. So this is actually providing me quotient. So when 8 divides 2, the quotient is 0. So it is coming out to be 0. Then when 3 divides 5.5, the quotient is 1. And when 4 divides 6, quotient is 1. So this is the output. So I only want the quotient part, not the exact division. So in that case, this quotient function can be used. Sorry, lots of typo today. Okay, so this is v raised to the power t. So what will be the output here? Yeah, yeah, Arun. So it doesn't give decimal then. So here it is a to the power function. So it would be 2 to the power of 8, 5.5 to the power 3, and 6 to the power of 4. So this is the output. Now similarly, this is this. So here till here we have done some arithmetic operation. Now we'll start with some logical operation. True, false. Yeah, Jagdish. So here I have three elements in the vector. So the mapping will be same as in the previous one. It would be 1 to 1. So 2 will be mapped to 8 and the relation will be checked if 2 is greater than 8. Similarly for the second and third element. So it comes out to be false, true, true. So this is actually less than 8. So it comes out to be false. And this would be, yeah, Siddharth is correct. This would be the other way around. And I don't have any equal, so none of the elements are equal, so all of them will be false. So this comes out to be false. Now this is less than equal to sign. This will be also true, false, false, and greater than equal to, so other way around. And this is not equal to. So in this case, we have all the elements which are not equal to each other. So all will be true. Yeah. One more thing here. So now let's take some other example and see what happens. So here what I have done is I have taken this complex number. So the last element uh, is a complex number. Okay, and there would be a uh, actually a comparison between the two. So and means if both are of the same or both are actually specifying true or not. So what happens is, what would be the output if anyone is equal? So if anyone is equal, then that for that element it would come out to be as true. So Vimal, suppose you are asking for this line number 68 for this one thing. For this, if anyone comes out to be equal, then one of the that element would be false, corresponding to that index. That would be false. Line number 60. Okay, one comes out to be equal. So equal, yeah. So equality in this case, it is not checked. So in any way, it would be the same thing. So let's say, now let's do it. So it is again false. So greater than and greater than equal to, you must, so those are a bit different things. So here also, so let's get back to this, and this is also last element is complex. So here what equal to sign does is, here sorry, and ampersand sign, what it does is, it actually checks if both are of true or not. So ampersand, this can only check for true and false. So Tarun is saying true, false. Yeah, Tarun, I think you have studied already. So yeah, Tarun says is correct. So let me find this. Yeah. So this will be true, false, false, and true. So what happens is, here so in any case 0 is false and anything apart from 0 is true. So that is the simple convention. So here 3 and 4, so both are true. So it comes out to be 0, so it automatically converts it into a false. And this is one true, this is true, false, and this is true, true, because here both of the cases I have some value. So in this case it comes out to be true. And let's see if it is a OR condition. So either one of them should be a true. If either one of them is a true, then it comes out to be as true. Yes, Tarun, you pointed out correctly. Now here, so not equal to A, that means the cases with where I have A equal to false. So which are the cases will I will get A to be false? So only for this case when A is 0. So see, only for A equal to 0 I am getting it true. For all the other cases I am getting it false. Correct, Vimal? Yeah. And now for B, which one should I be getting as true out of these four elements? Yeah, F3, third, the F becomes true. Correct. Most of you are correct. Same thing. Yeah. Now this is double ampersand. Any idea what it does? Any guesses, or anyone wants to make a try? चलो ठीक है. Double ampersand, what it does, it actually compares only the first value. So comparison would be only between 3 and 4, not among the rest of the things. So if I execute this, so see, I got only out of the four elements I got only one result, that is true. So it compares only the first value, it takes only that into consideration. Now for or either of, so as both of them are true, so this would come out to be true as well. So yeah, this is also true. Let us take some more examples. So this is actually a kind of operator. So regarding operator, I also have mentioned in the last class. So this is the most used convention for assigning the value of the variable in R. So you can assign it like this. V1 would be okay. So double ampersand, what it does, it only compares the first values. So the first element would be only compared. So for example, here I have 3, here I have 4. So both are true. Okay. And then this would also come out to be as true. Now let's say if this comes out to be 0. And if I do this comparison, then it is giving me false. Because here the comparison is only between the first element. Not all the elements, only first element. Similarly, if I take it for OR condition, then because either one of them is true, so it comes out to be true. So let us assign some value. So this is the normal trend of assigning the value in R. So I have mentioned this also. So V1 is this, V2, and this is V3. And this is actually a left operator. So assign it to the left value. And this is assigning it to the right value, V4 and V5. Let me do it like this. So this is also okay. This is also works. So I have assigned this value to V4. Now let me check what is the value of V4. So it would give me the same thing, or yeah. So actually what happens is that uh, here you can see I have only given the numeric and the last one is complex, and what it has done is it has made everyone complex, every element in that as a complex. So here if you check the class of V4, it comes out to be complex. So this is also a convention. Um, I think it should be new to most of you that if complex is there, then complex is given more priority than numeric, because you must all be knowing that complex is a superset which contains real and imaginary number both, and in the numeric part we have only the real numbers, not the imaginary one. So you can think it like this, that complex is a superset and numeric is a subset of that superset. And this value, this assignment will also work, V5. So let's check what is the value of V5. So left assignment, right assignment, both works in R. Both are good and both you can use. But it is actually preferred that in most of the programming language that this is the main convention. So we use it like this only. Double arrow also works in the same way. So double arrow, that is no different from the single arrow. This also works in the same way. Everything is same. You can use either of the two. And there is this in function. So what is so you all must have done a bit of SQL or proc SQL. So there is the in function where class in or gender in so and so. So similar operator we have there in R. So equal and arrow, I think I've explained a bit in the last class. There is not much of a difference. So arrow sign was used in the initial version of R. And so most of the people who have been working quite a lot with R, they must be familiar with the arrow function and they use it more. So equal to sign came into work quite recently. So that is not quite popular with R. So that is why it is a convention, a kind of a convention that you use a arrow sign. Otherwise, both would work absolutely fine. You use it either using equal to or using arrow, both would work fine. But it is said it is actually a convention because most of the R programmers have actually made lots of their program using the arrow sign. So that is the only difference. So not much from a operation or a working perspective. You can use either of them. Okay. So here in what it does, it actually checks that if this element is present there in the series or not. For example, here I have assigned the value 8 to x and 9 to y, and here I have k varying from 5 to 10. So what it does, it checks whether x is there in this series or not. So what would be the value for this y in k? True, true, correct. So one more thing, just a small. So this is a matrix. You must be knowing this. We all have done this in last class. So by row equal to true. If this is provided, what happens? This was also explained in the last class. So nobody, yeah, Ganesh answered it correctly. Yeah, it will be arranged in a row wise order. So if I have a matrix, so it will fill the row first, then to next. So let me put it like this. So rows will be filled first. So row wise it will be actually like this. So this is the matrix I have stored there. So T, this would be actually new to you. So what T does it makes a transpose of the matrix. So let's say if I only enter M will give me the matrix, and it is filled by row. So starting from 2, 6, 5. So here is the order by row. And what T of M does, it makes a transpose of that. So it has made a transpose of it. And same filling by this column. So this is actually a multiplicator sign. So let me execute this. So what happens is to column. Yeah, column to row. Yeah, that is a transpose. So this is actually a multiplication of two matrices. So I think there was a chapter there in class 11 and 12 that matrices and multiplication of matrices. So the same concept works here. So what I have done is I have made a matrix and made a transpose of it, and then I have multiplied both of them. So you must, I think you must, most of you must be knowing that how a matrices is actually multiplied with each other. Yeah, the same concept works here as well. So same thing. So what happened is my first matrices was of the order of 2 into 3, and my second matrix was the order of 3 into 2. So the resultant matrix will be of the order of 2 into 2. So this part, this 3 actually becomes common in both, and only this is taken out. So that's why the resultant matrix is of the order 2 cross 2. So any issue still here? ठीक है, चलो then. Let's use some if-else conditions. So these are some of the basic if-else condition. So I'm assigning a value 2 to A, and let's see if no, Tarun, semicolon is not needed in R. So when you are ending a statement, semicolon is not needed, unlike SAS. So what happened is it actually printed. So if A was numeric or not. So what happened is when A was numeric, it went into the loop and then printed that value. First, let's say if I want to check it otherwise, if A is a character or not, then I have is dot character. So let's see what happens now. So it did not give me anything, any output, because it is not a character value. The same thing if I do it using a if-else condition, else, okay. So in case we want to write multiple statement now. So Siddharth, multiple statement in the sense you're saying that if else that would continue. Okay. So what happens here is uh, so suppose I have kept my cursor here. What it does, it executes the entire line. So once I've selected it like this, so it will take this entire range for its execution. So it will execute it entirely. So unlike SAS where you have to execute the entire that data step to actually run it, here I can do it step by step. So step I have to mention in R, unlike in SAS. And for example, see here what I have done is I did not select it completely. I haven't done that. So what it has done is I have executed the first line, then there is a plus sign there. So what plus sign does, it actually expect that there's something missing. Either there is a unended braces or something, and it is expecting that to complete in the next line. So that is where this plus sign comes into picture, and the plus sign goes on until and unless it ensures that everything has been entered correctly, or the syntax is completely uh, filled or completely valid. So let me do it while by selecting all these. So now you won't get a like this stepwise function. So let me do this. So it gives me not a numeric. So these are the basic working of if else. If else is also used in this way also. So what happens is this is same as working in Excel. So first you have to give the condition. So is not numeric A. So first if it is correct, then I have to give it one. So what will be my condition? And if it is false, then what will be my condition? So let's say what comes. So this is one. So it is a numeric. So it is up to you how you want to type the condition. So you can write it like this with full if else condition, or it can be just a one liner, that if else so and so. Otherwise in here also you can make a nested loop. So if else if my condition is not true, then if else is dot character a one, let me 0. So let me execute it like this. So it was executed, it was detected numeric in the first line itself, so it came out to be like this. Now suppose if I'm doing it like this, I'm making it a character. Now see what happens. It comes out to be 0. Yeah, yes, Tarun. So another basic thing is a switch statement. So here I've executed that this is a statement, and so what would be the value? So what it does, it actually takes which expression I have to take. So the first parameter here decides that which expression should come up, which case should come up. So here I have already specified 3, so by default it will take only 3. So let's say if I execute, it comes out to be third. Now it doesn't looks good when I show it like this, because it's a type of a tailor-made or a hard-coded thing. So let me do it in another way. If I in 1 2 4, then what I will do is switch I, then all these. Now let's see what happens. Yeah, so this is a practical example how you can use the statement. So let me execute this. Actually, it's not printing. Yeah, so here it is. So every time it goes into the statement, so for first value of I, it prints first, then second, then third, then fourth. So this is the way it goes like. So for example, in various level of I, if I have to execute the first statement, then second, then this is the possible alternative that I can use for in a switch statement. Yeah, yeah, somewhat. Yeah. So for the first index, it will show me the first part. For second, it will show me the first. Yeah, so it basically means the index or the expression. So if I write it like this, then uh, switch, and it works like this. So what would be my expression, and what would be my case? So case 1, case 2, something like this, and it goes on. Yeah, so for first value of this, it will show me the first case, for second then second, and hence fourth it will go on. So this is how it will work. Okay, okay, yeah, it was a bit. Once match case, so for I here it only works with indexing. I think it doesn't work with the value. So for value, if I want to return for that, if else would be a better option compared to switch. Switch should only give me the case or the uh, statement which I have to execute for the that time. So let me explain it from the beginning. Let's say if I want to uh, have the value of only the third element, or I have so many condition. Out of these many condition, I want to store the value of so and so condition. For that, I have to specify which case I want to select, and out of how many conditions are there. So that values will be stored in X, and here I can print X. And for a real scenario, I can make a for loop, and I can print all those values. So this is just to elaborate how it works actually. I think yes, Java I'm not sure of, so I cannot comment how it works in Java, but yeah, this is how it works. Okay, so many things been covered today. So any questions till now, or anything you find it difficult for understanding, or was it a bit too fast for today?
Ankit, the R code, whatever you showed on the R,
Hmm.
would you be saving it and sending it across to
Yeah,
us?
yeah, yeah, sure. That will be that I will surely do that. So with every class, I will be sending out the R script. Mm, okay. So okay, so it looks good for everyone. Okay. So let's have a few minutes break, then we can reconnect. So we can have a 5 minutes break here.